Video games aren't meant to be completed.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Now, hold on, before you decide to slice off my head with a sword, let me explain myself. I have played so many video games over the few short years of me being a little gamer boy, and I don't foresee that slowing down anytime soon. Every time I find a new game that is just a bop, I get completely addicted to it until I finish it. Once I finish a game, I'm pretty much done with it, and I want to move on to find another game that I can get completely engrossed in. What I mean when I finish a game is just rolling credits. Very rarely do I play post-game stuff or do a new game plus, and almost never do I try to 100% complete a game. Why? There are many reasons why I don't complete games, but I think the biggest is that I just want to play more video games. Remember, I gotta keep shooting that dopamine straight into my brain. It wasn't always like this though. Once I became an adult and I was working for the man and I could make some green, I was able to waste my money on whatever I wanted. I could buy as many video games as my heart desired. But growing up, I didn't have that luxury. My parents would only buy me games for my birthday or for Christmas, so once I got a new game, I played the hell out of it. The handful of games I did have, I played and replayed and memorized and unlocked everything possible that I could in those games because that was my game for the next 6 months to a year. On Gauntlet Dark Legacy, I unlocked every secret character, which is a bitch by the way. I found every single collectible, I memorized all the level layouts, and I got every character to level 99. On Halo, I beat every mission on Legendary, both co-op and single player. On Donkey Kong 64, I found every single collectible that I possibly could. Still haven't beat that game though because the Donkey Kong arcade machine sucks. In Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, I unlocked every single character. I got them to max level. I purchased every upgrade and move that you could buy. Keep in mind though, this was before YouTube when walkthroughs were a thing, so I spent who knows how many hours with my sisters and friends trying to navigate and unlock all these secrets and collectibles in all of these games. A lot of hours. Then the Xbox 360 came out and they introduced achievements. Oh my god, was that meth for my brain that likes to see numbers go up. I was given specific tasks that I could do throughout my games. And I had a gamer score that would tick up that I could show off to my friends, and it also allowed my friends to view what hard achievements I've gotten and what games I've 100%ed. Keep in mind, some of these achievements were incredibly prestigious and very difficult to do. My first introduction to achievements, as well as some of the most well-known achievements on the Xbox, has to be Halo 3's VidMaster challenges. Not only were these challenges incredibly difficult, but once you completed these challenges, you got the notorious recon armor that everybody nutted over. This is what we used to call in the biz achievement hunting, and thus Achievement Hunter was born. Rooster Teeth put out lots of videos about achievements to help crazy gamers like myself to unlock specific achievements in lots of different video games. I remember looking up tons of videos about Modern Warfare 2, like how to beat certain levels on Veteran, how to find all the intel that are littered throughout, how to beat the pit as fast as I could. I was very determined and addicted to unlock all the achievements for the games that I was playing, so much so that I played Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and beat them on Legendary. So much so that I beat Modern Warfare 1 and 2 on Veteran, which still haunts my dreams to this day. I think by far the achievements that were the worst for me to unlock has to either be beating Call of Duty World at War on Veteran or doing the Mile High Club on Modern Warfare. There was a point that I was so addicted to achievement hunting that I would play games that I couldn't care less about just so I could get gamer score, like Kung Fu Panda or Lego Indiana Jones. Achievements were the bane of my existence. It didn't really last long though for me because achievements started to get harder or lazier. Games started doing secret achievements which I hated and were very discouraging for me. I understand that some of the secret achievements are to hide specific story things because they don't want to spoil it for you. That I'm okay with. But the ones where it's like, oh, go into this room and staple your butt cheeks together and then stand on one foot and kill this enemy with your eyes closed. Doing some of these things that are so specific and intricate, you would never do. So you'd end up looking them up anyway, and that takes the fun out of the achievements, in my opinion. Sometimes games would update and they would add even more achievements with DLC. Now for most people they would be static because there's more things for them to do in a game that they love. But for me, that meant that my completed games were no longer completed. So really that was the end of my achievement hunting days. It came and went and now I honestly couldn't care less. It's fun when I see an achievement pop up with gamerscore next to it, but I don't actively try to do these achievements, nor do I even look at the achievement list anymore. I just care more about having fun and exploring in a video game. When it comes to 100%ing a game, achievements are almost always directly tied to it, except Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't make games to be completed. To prove this point, they give you a golden for doing it in Zelda Breath of the Wild. Another reason why I don't complete games is because of the completion criteria that always seems like it's changing. Is it unlocking every single achievement, seeing 100% next to your name, doing every single side quest, beating the game on the hardest difficulty, catching every single Pokemon? What about a living dex or every single shiny Pokemon? What about multiplayer challenges that would take years to do? Halo Reach had accommodations that would take literally forever to unlock them all. Don't get me wrong, I love when games have a good progression system, as Halo Reach does. But again, does that play into completion criteria? And that doesn't even account for the multiplayer games that have gone offline. Most people would say no, the multiplayer challenges don't really go into completion criteria. But again, then it kind of just leaves it up to the individual to set their own completion criteria. Some games are just too damn hard to beat and would take hundreds if not thousands of hours to complete. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, I couldn't even beat the base game because the Impossible Lair was literally impossible for me. Beating COD games on Veteran is torture that I will never put myself through again. Some in-game unlocks rely on RNG, which sucks a big dookie. In Xenoblade Chronicles, I loved the Collectopedia. I thought it was so much fun. But you have to rely on RNG for specific items to spawn, and you just pray that the item you need spawns at that specific time. There was a specific item that only spawned in 2 locations at night. I tried for several hours to get it, and then I gave up. I didn't want to waste any more time trying to find an item just so I could check something off of a list. It was fun while it lasted, but I was quickly reminded why video games aren't meant to be completed. Doing these tedious tasks can more often than not ruin a game for you. Instead of having fond memories of combat and exploration, you could be left with the bitter taste of getting ass blasted by sniper jackals, or dying over and over and over and over again in this stupid airplane mission, or farming enemies for hours trying to get one specific item drop. Even then, when you finally unlock that achievement or get that item that you spent hours trying to do, are you even happy that you did it? No. You're more happy that you don't have to do that anymore than you are the fact that you found the item or unlocked that specific achievement. This is one of the aspects that plays into the thesis of this video as to why video games aren't meant to be completed. The repetition and monotony of video games is felt way more when you're trying to 100% your games, and is another reason why video games aren't meant to be completed. Going back to Breath of the Wild, there are Korok seeds that you can collect, 900 to be exact. The devs never really intended for you to get all the Korok seeds, ergo why the reward is just a big golden poopy when you get all of them. At a certain point, you can't even upgrade your inventory anymore, which is the whole reason to even find Korok seeds in the first place. The reason they have so many of these riddled throughout the game is because most players aren't trying to find them all. They want players to feel like everywhere they go, there are little mini puzzles for them to figure out and discover, and gives them more chances to find Korok seeds. The more they have riddled throughout, it promotes exploration, and it gives more players chances to upgrade their inventory. Yes, the puzzles are repetitive, but once again, if you're not trying to find all 100, it isn't felt as much. The same principle applies to Mario Odyssey, with 999 Power Moons that you can collect, but you only need 124 to beat the game. Most players aren't going to hunt down every Power Moon, so they're not going to feel the repetition as much as somebody that is doing the same puzzles over and over again. Yes, that sucks if you are a completionist, but it sucks being a completionist in general because devs don't cater to completionists. It's a very small minority in the gaming community, so it makes sense. Most completion reward bonuses are just big nothing burgers, which gives no incentive for anyone trying to complete a game anyway. Personally speaking, most of the time, the base game and gameplay loop are satisfying enough, and I don't really need to go the extra mile. That being said, some games just have excellent gameplay loops and really make you want to complete the game. For example, Pokemon, trying to find every Pokemon and complete the dex is awesome. Not only are you collecting items, your Pokemon, and checking them off a list, you can then use your said items, your Pokemon, in the gameplay, which gives you more incentive to go out and find more Pokemon. Plus, if you complete the dex, you get the shiny charm. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity has a very addictive map that was super satisfying to check things off and unlock more of it. I spent way too many hours playing arguably the most repetitive series out there. Warriors games have never really appealed to me, but Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity had me for a very long time. It's also Zelda skin, so I'm biased. Experiencing video games on my own terms and unlocking things naturally is way more rewarding for me. Going back to RNG and why it's a nightmare for completionists can also be an exciting experience for somebody that is experiencing the game naturally and not burning hours off of their life. In Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there's a gacha system which I wasn't really fond of, but I also didn't spend hours trying to farm core crystals to get specific blade unlocks. So one day when Cole came into my room and he jokingly said, haha, maybe you'll get Cosmos, the rarest blade in the game. I didn't know this. And then I said, oh haha, I just did a little bit ago. And then he freaked out. It caught me off guard and made me feel really good, because not only did I pull the rarest blade in the game, I didn't want to kill myself doing it. I'm not saying that completing video games to 100% is bad. It's just that most games aren't meant to be played that way. Don't get me wrong, when you fall in love with the game, it is so much fun unlocking achievements and finding secrets and just doing more of what you love. More of a game that you love is never a bad thing, especially when you don't get video games all that often. There's definitely an art to completing video games, as well as having tons of patience and high skill requirements. I would feel dirty if I didn't mention his name in a video about completing video games, because he is Mr. Completionist himself. Also, he's in the thumbnail, and I'm flipping him off. Completing a video game is no small feat, and he is the person that has probably completed the most video games on planet Earth. I've been watching Gerard's videos for like over a decade now, and it's interesting comparing my experience to his and seeing how different they are, simply because he completed a game to 100%, and it makes me want to never complete games to 100% ever. Seeing the hundreds of hours and the high skill requirements it takes to complete games is a huge turnoff for me, but I still respect it nonetheless. Not only is Gerard incredibly patient, he's just really freaking good at playing video games. Gerard, you are a hero amongst men, and I could never endure the mental torture that you sometimes put yourself through. Video games are amazing experiences that can stick with us for the rest of our lives. They can be enjoyed in many different ways, and that is what I love most about video games. Everyone can play the same game and get a completely different experience out of them. If you enjoy being a completionist, keep completing games. But just remember, video games aren't meant to be completed. And that's a good thing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, and if you enjoy the content, hit a subscribe. We upload videos like this all the time. Let me know your thoughts on completing video games down in the comment section below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you want to swift kick me in the nards because you disagree with everything I said? Let me know. Also, if you want to support even more and see behind the scenes as well as lots of other bonus content, you can subscribe to our Patreon, and for only $1 a month, you get lots of bonuses and you can get your name at the end of the video. I just want to thank our Patreons for always supporting us. It means a whole lot. And thank you for watching this video. And as always, keep it rad.